All right. Welcome to the Fantasy Football Garage. I'm Chris, the Candyman. Follow me on Twitter at FFB Garage. Welcome in. Today, ADP trends, underdog best ball, 2023 rookies, top 19 to 24. And we're looking at ADP trends for Kendre Miller. Overall, he's rising. His value's gone up. Marvin Mims, value's gone up a ton. There's a lot to look at with this fourth group of six. There's a lot of really interesting things because some of these players were going, undrafted. Chase Brown and Marvin Mims could go undrafted in February, and now they're breaking into the top 200, which I like all of these players that we're looking at right now, with the exception of the tight end, Dalton Kincaid. I like all of these players in the top 200. I think that's fair. Just take a shot. And Kendre Miller, I actually like, and Zach Evans, I like a bit higher than where they are. I think they're going to continue to rise, and you can tell if you look at the value change, and what that is that's the difference in their ADP at the end of February to the end of March, right? So Kayshon Boutte, his ADP is at 201 now. It was all the way down at 132. So he's lost about 40% of his perceived value, and he's gone down 69 spots in ADP. Obviously, as you go down the board into the higher numbers, you can move more spots, right? So 69 spots, it's a ton of spots, but the value change is a relative number. And out of all the rookies that we've looked at in this series, Kayshon Boutte has by far fallen the most. Another big faller, surprisingly, Zach Evans. And I would chalk it up to, he's not getting a lot of attention. He's not performing. He's not in the media right now. And so since the combine, he has been falling. A guy who's been rising since the combine, though, Chase Brown. He had really good size, speed at the combine. NFL teams, I think, are going to like Chase Brown. I know dynasty guys are lower on Chase Brown because maybe of his age and just they don't think he has the right profile they're looking for. But in best ball and in the NFL, I think Chase Brown finds his way into a backfield, starts to get some touches, and if he can get some of those high value touches, goal line touches, and really find a place in a good high scoring offense, I think Chase Brown can shoot up these draft boards. His ADP is going to skyrocket. It's already gone up a relatively good amount. His value's up. He's 7% higher than he was a month ago. I think it can go up, up way more, kind of like where Marvin Mims is. I'm actually a huge fan of Marvin Mims as well, a player that I've seen torch Texas for years at the Cotton Bowl, catching 52-yard bombs from Caleb Williams. I talk about it. I've been scarred. I don't want to talk about it anymore, actually. And let's get back to the ADP trends. So now what we're looking at is the change week over week. And what I think is really interesting to see here is how sentiment changes, not just over the last month, but throughout the month, goes up and down. And so the quick way to see what's going on in a summary view is the win-loss ADP trends column. And that's like our key. So you can see Kendre Miller. Also, I'm a big fan of Kendre Miller. He's just been a stud at TCU, been fun to watch. In the first week of March, from the end of February, he went up 3 spots in ADP. So he gets a green block. Then, doesn't perform at the combine, goes down the pretty much 4 spots in ADP. He gets a black square for that period. And then in the third week of March, he starts trending back up. The fourth week, he's trending back up. And I think it's just because people are doing some more kind of draft research, and they're starting to see this guy's going to get some draft capital, I think, for sure. Marvin Mims, you can see, so the NFL Combine was like the week of, I think it was March 6th, right? That's when the Combine ended. So anything that's going on on the far right column, when he jumped up that 11.7 spots in ADP, that's from the Combine. And then the following week after the Combine, he's still rising a ton. Marvin Mims, draft him easily, top 185 picks still today, I think. Dalton Kincaid, with the rookie tight ends, it's tough, but he's been rising. We'll see. Look, there's a little bit of change there. He lost some momentum, but generally in that range, from March 14th to March 21st, we're noticing that all of the rookies are down. If you look at the bottom at the subtotal of this group, all of the rookies were generally down about 4 spots. So for Dalton Kincaid to only be down 2.7 spots, it's relatively not as bad. Compared, of course, Kayshon Boutte dropping down tons of spots since the Combine. Maybe oversold. I don't know. I really don't know. I'm not as familiar with Kayshon Boutte yet, and I've been burned before on LSU wide receivers. They are an enigma. Not like Ohio State wide receivers. And anyways, Zach Evans, I think he's definitely oversold. I really like Zach Evans. I like the way he runs, but just overall, his production and efficiency per touch. And this last year, he transferred from TCU, where I had seen him play before, to Ole Miss, where I didn't watch as much Ole Miss this last year, so wasn't as familiar. They also had another rookie running back, Judkins, who got most of the carries. So Zach Evans was using a kind of different complementary role. But in the NFL, I think those complementary roles have become more common, and he can definitely fit into a complementary role, a 1-2 punch backfield in the NFL. And I think you can't go wrong taking a rookie running back at the end of your best ball draft, especially when we know that these guys are going to be rising up boards once they land on a team and get drafted next month. What we want to avoid, though, are these players that are continue to fall, and you could run into the issue where if you've been drafting any Kayshon Boutte in the last month, you're probably, you probably got him at a pretty bad spot. But for these running backs, I think it's the opposite. I think they're going to take over a ton of backfields. There's a lot of need right now for some of these new running backs to enter these teams. And we saw a lot of running backs in last year's draft class get playing time, get starting roles, get, roles on teams. And by a lot of evaluations, this year's rookie running back class is deeper. And I think that allows you to have a little bit more confidence in picking some of these running backs at these late ADPs, where in other years, these are players that might have gone a little bit higher. They've been pushed down by a pretty strong class. That's all there is to say for the month of March ADP trends for rookies. We looked at the top 24 rookies. This was the last 6. Hope you enjoyed the series. Please comment below, share, and let me know which players you liked that we've talked about. And I hope you follow me on Twitter at Fantasy Football Garage, at